You ever feel like no matter how much harder you work, your money just doesn't go as far as it used to? Like a few years ago, things were cheaper, life felt a bit easier, and now suddenly everything is expensive for no clear reason. You're earning, maybe even earning more than before, but somehow it still feels like you're falling behind. Welcome to my channel, Smart 20s, where we talk about the money truths nobody teaches you in school. And today, we're going to uncover something that affects your life every single day without you even noticing it: inflation. And more importantly, how inflation makes the rich even richer while slowly making you poorer. Let's keep this very simple. Inflation basically means prices are rising over time. And when prices rise, the value of your money falls. So if you have 100 rupees or $100 today, that same money will buy you less in the future. It's not that your money disappears, it's that its power quietly shrinks. Think of it like this: your money is slowly losing strength every single day, and most people don't even realize it's happening. This is why your grocery bill feels higher, your rent keeps increasing, and even basic things like fuel and electricity feel more expensive than before. Now, the question is, why does this even happen? Why can't prices just stay the same? One of the biggest reasons is that governments print more money. When more money enters the system, each unit of money becomes less valuable. It's simple supply and demand. If something becomes more common, it becomes less valuable. The same thing happens with money. Another reason is demand. When more people want the same limited goods, prices naturally go up. And then there are rising costs. When companies have to pay more for materials, transportation, or labor, they increase prices to maintain their profits. So inflation isn't random. It's built into the system, and it's always happening in the background. But here's where things get really interesting and honestly a bit unfair. Inflation doesn't affect everyone equally. In fact, it creates a huge gap between the rich and the poor, and most people don't even notice it happening. The rich understand how inflation works, and they position themselves to benefit from it, while the average person unknowingly becomes a victim of it. Let's talk about why the rich win during inflation. First, they don't just hold cash. They own assets. Assets are things like real estate, stocks, and businesses. When inflation rises, the prices of these assets usually go up as well. So while your money is losing value, their assets are gaining value. For example, a house that costs 1 million today might cost 1.5 million in a few years because of inflation. The rich person who owns that house just became richer on paper without doing anything, while someone who doesn't own assets now has to pay more to buy the same thing. Second, the rich don't rely on saving money the way most people do. They invest. Saving money in cash during inflation is actually losing money in real terms. But investing in the right places can grow your wealth faster than inflation eats it away. This is a major mindset difference. Poor and middle class people are often taught to save money, while the rich focus on growing money. Third, the rich use debt in a very smart way. This might sound surprising, but inflation actually benefits people who have debt if used correctly. Let's say a rich person borrows a large amount of money to invest in property or business. Over time, inflation reduces the real value of that debt. So they're essentially paying back the loan with cheaper money in the future, while their investments continue to grow. This is one of the biggest financial advantages that most people never think about. Fourth, many rich people own businesses. When inflation increases costs, businesses simply raise their prices. That means customers pay more, and a business owner maintains or even increases their profit margins. So instead of being hurt by inflation, they pass the impact onto others. Now, let's look at the other side, because this is where most people are stuck. Why does inflation make the average person poorer? First, most people keep their money in cash or in basic savings accounts. While it feels safe, inflation quietly reduces its value over time. You think you're saving, but in reality, your money is shrinking. Second, salaries usually don't keep up with inflation. Your income might increase slightly every year, but it rarely matches the rate at which prices are rising. So even if you're earning more on paper, your real purchasing power is going down. This is why it feels like you're working harder but getting less in return. Third, most people don't own assets. Without assets, you don't benefit from rising prices. Instead, you're the one paying those higher prices. You're paying more rent, more for food, more for transportation, while asset owners are earning more. And then there's something called lifestyle inflation. As people start earning more, they also start spending more. Better phone, better car, better lifestyle. Instead of investing the extra money, they upgrade their life. So even when their income increases, they stay stuck in the same financial position. Let's make this very real with a simple example. Imagine two people. The first person works a regular job and saves money in the bank. They feel secure because they're saving consistently. The second person also works, but instead of just saving, they invest in assets like stocks or property. After a few years, inflation rises. The first person notices that everything is more expensive and their savings don't go as far as they used to. The second person, however, sees their investments increase in value. Their wealth grows while the other person struggles. Same environment, same inflation, completely different outcomes. Now here comes the most important part of this entire video. What can you actually do about this? Because understanding the problem is one thing, but escaping it is what really matters. The first step is to stop holding too much cash. Yes, you should have an emergency fund, but beyond that, keeping all your money in cash is one of the biggest financial mistakes during inflation. The second step is to start investing, even if it's a small amount. You don't need to be rich to start investing. You need to start to become rich. Learn about stocks, learn about assets, and slowly build your knowledge. The earlier you start, the more time your money has to grow. The third step is to develop financial awareness. Understand how money works. Understand how inflation affects your life. Most people stay stuck, not because they don't earn enough, but because they don't understand how the system works. And finally, change your mindset. Stop thinking only in terms of earning and spending, and start thinking in terms of building and growing wealth. The difference between the rich and the poor is not just income. It's how they think about money. At the end of the day, inflation is not going away. It will continue to exist, and it will continue to impact everyone. The only question is, will you be on the side that benefits from it or the side that suffers because of it? Because now that you understand how this system works, you have a choice. And that choice can completely change your financial future.